Hey guys, my name's Justin and welcome to Hell Borrow. Yeah, this is where we care about the design luxury. Hello. Really phoning it in with that one today. So for today's video, I wanted to do a type of video I haven't done in a while, even though I haven't done any video in a while, but you know, we're back. Best bags under $1,000. When I make this video, it's never actually like the best bags, but it's bags that I find interesting and bags from places that I at least know that I can trust, or at least have been able to trust in terms of quality in the past. And they're just interesting. This is not to criticize anyone who has this style of bag or anything like that, but anytime I see this list, it's like, this is a camera bag from this brand, or this is like a really simple tote from this brand. I'm just like, how about we give suggestions to people that means a little bit more than just like whatever's the cheapest thing that a brand has. Let's do something that has like a little bit more excitement, maybe something a little bit with more character. Of course, it's important to have like a base in our collections of like simple bags that we're just gonna use as workhorses. We're gonna use like every day, every errand, things like that. Super important. But I think it's also nice to look at like, if you don't have a huge budget, can you still have a bag that is a statement bag or looks really expensive? Not that it's about that, but sometimes you want to look fancy, you know? There's actually a lot of like these like high-level brands that are just doing boring stuff right now. So I think this kind of price range is actually where you can find some decent stuff that actually is saying something, is contributing something. And I just wanted to, you know, throw my hat in the ring. First bag I wanted to talk about, strong straight out the gate, is from Liang. It's from Sandy Liang. And it's called the Large Regalo bag in Carnation. I guess it's like regalo, like Spanish for present, I guess. But what I love about this bag is it's a shoulder bag and it's made out of like satin, so it's like not the most like heavy duty material necessarily, but I love that it's a simple shape for a shoulder bag and then it has this huge freaking bow detail attached to it. I think there's something just so charming, and I know like, Justin, you always say like trends are dumb, blah blah, and like the whole coquette. Well, I think the coquette thing is like almost done or whatever. I don't care. I just love that it's like an oversized bow so that you can like live your like Camila Cabello X Factor fantasy with like your giant bow in your hair that she ditched because she wanted a different image, even though I thought it was amazing and cute. Yeah, but this bag coming in at just under $800, I think as a statement bag, this one is chef's kiss. Well, chef's kiss, not chef's kiss. Ha! Ha! Excuse me. The next bag I wanted to talk about is from Serre, and it's called the Regenerated Deadstock Denim Eclips Crossbody. First off, love a denim bag. I think there's something about denim happening right now, as it should always be. I think there's something about like deadstock, which can be like, oh, it's using like materials that wouldn't have gotten used otherwise, but then it's also like, well, you're still, it's like, you know, it's like one of those marketing terms that like, it's like, oh, it's sustainable, but I'm like, is it sustainable? But I do love that Serre does have typically this kind of like sustainable outlook towards production, which I do appreciate. And I feel like Serre hasn't gotten too much love recently. I think people have been like, oh, it's done, like nobody wants that like moon shirt anymore. I'm like, okay, just because like a trend's over doesn't mean you should like let a brand die or whatever. But that being said, I do love the use of the logo in terms of like the way they like 3D laser onto denim to like make it have that different shade. But then when you see these like affordable bags, you could like switch pieces and parts from each of them and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But this one I love. The shape of the bag is great if you like a shoulder bag, or apparently a crossbody by lengthening the straps. But the hardware, the fact that it has these like brassy, big, chunky like crescent moons as the hardware for this bag, I'm like, the fact that you can get custom hardware that looks this great for that price, from a brand that is known for being more sustainable, flirting with the edge of like luxury, where it's like almost like adjacent to streetwear, you know? I think that's super interesting, and I love this bag because of that. Okay, so for the next bag, I would be remiss if I didn't include something from Jonathan Anderson. So this is from his own brand, JW Anderson, and it's just, I think it's just called the orange bag. Yeah, it's the orange bag, but the way it looks, it's like half of an orange, so the back of it is round. So he has a series of bags, or at least had, that were like based on like baseball caps. So you can tell that the structure of it comes from there. I don't think it's any sort of like unique new bag shape that he's doing, not like with some of like the 3D molded, 3D printed bags, like the frog and the pigeon. But I do really like that it has that silliness of like, it's an orange. So it has that flat face, it has the orange print, and it has that kind of like rounded back. I think a lot of times when I see those kinds of bags, they're just like a slice of a cylinder. There's a little bit more uniqueness to the shape of this bag that I find a little bit more interesting. Also, I really like oranges. Also, summer is coming soon, so I'm like, oh, summer bag, I already have one, unfortunately.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
But I'm like, oh, this is great, like, be great for a summer bag, super cute. I will give you that pop of color on any look. This seems very effortless, very wearable. Top handle, crossbody strap. What more could you want from like a bag like that? The next bag I want to talk about is from Marc Jacobs, and it's called the... I just like read it so I wouldn't have to read it. The leather large cargo bag. I really love the shape of this bag. This feels like Marc Jacobs getting back to what he does best. A mix between like luxury, making something look exaggerated, and in the terms of this bag, it's like that exaggerated utility, but then the materials look very like not what you would expect. Like I would expect like a nylon or some sort of like stiff leather, but then this looks like a worn leather. And then the inside is what I also find very interesting. There's it looks like maybe a cotton or nylon, probably maybe some blend, lined with like that traditional like tilted square lining. Which reminds me of like the Stam bag from back in the day, which was like a very Y2K bag. It was like this grandma purse with a heavy chain, like the little kiss lock closure. That kind of like throwback, I find it incredibly interesting. I think the biggest two things that I don't like about this bag. What are the buttons at the top? I would honestly consider taking them off because maybe I just don't get it, or maybe there's like an accessory you can buy to this bag that makes it make more sense. But two, I don't like that it doesn't have a handle. It only has that crossbody strap. Otherwise you wear it as a clutch and you just kind of carry it. I don't necessarily think that's a deal breaker because I also know a lot of people who have crossbodies that only wear them as crossbodies and they never touch them by the handle basically. So I don't think that's an issue. But I just love this kind of like return to Marc Jacobs' roots. And hey, newsflash, it's a product that doesn't have the name of the product printed or embossed on the front of it, which I think we can all applaud. I think it feels very like a turn in the career of Marc Jacobs, and I think there's we've already gotten a lot of big stuff from him. I think the hits are just going to keep coming. Okay, and then for the last one, this one is actually from Simone Rocha. No, it is not that utility bag that has the pearls on it. No, it's not just a regular pearl bag. We're gonna kind of come full circle with the, oh my god, what is it called? The Big Bow Crossbody bag. So we started with the bow, we're gonna end with the bow. So while that other bow was a shoulder bag, it had that big floppy bow, this is a bag that is crossbody, is meant to be worn crossbody. Because if you look at the model wearing it crossbody, it looks like they're wearing like a big sash that has like a big bow on it. And I think that kind of like charming take is another great iteration of like a bow bag. So like when you want that kind of statement look that's very feminine, I think one of the great things about the Simone Rocha bag though is it has, because it's crossbody, it has a little bit of that utilitarian kind of look that you get from some of the other bags. So it's not just fully feminine, maybe not as much as how the Sandy Liang bag was. But I just think it's so cute. It is not 100% not for me, but like there's something about this bag that is like, it's gonna stick with me for a while because I think it's so, you know, when like The Devil Wears Prada, when like the fake designer brings out that like nasty green mint dress. And it's like, oh, with the OB belt, and it has like this big red bow on it, and you're like, oh my god, this is so nasty. But there's still something so like iconic and like great about it, maybe because it's not good, but you know they made it for the movie in a way that it's not really supposed to look good. But then it's almost like this is what whatever that designer's saying. Oh my god, fake fan. If he were to make a bag in 2024, it could resemble something like this. I mean, in any case, I'm a big fan of bows right now and of pearls. So for me, like finding a statement bag in that way, I think is something that makes it a little bit more accessible. And then on top of the price. But yeah, so those are the bags I wanted to talk about. I was really excited to talk about these bags because they are so interesting to me right now. They feel very like accessible, not just in terms of price, but in terms of like wearability, especially like if you do wear like more of those like frilly looks and stuff like that. Like these bow ones are right there, right up your alley. I don't know, I'm gonna keep a lookout, and of course I'll keep you guys updated, but I also want to hear from you. If you have any of these bags, or if you like any of these bags, or if you just hate these bags and you're like, Justin, you're an idiot. Why do you like bows? Coquette is so out for like 2 months now. Let me know. I just love hearing from you guys. But yeah, that is all I got for you today. So if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too something designer luxury. See, I'm phoning it in.